Two hearts fading like a flower, and all this waiting.
Ooh, okay. So it is like straight up winter outside, so everybody needs like a super easy throw it on look that's still gonna be super, super cool. A little bit more than what your summer day-to-day makeup would be because it's freezing and you're pasty, and I'm just looking out for you. So, ready. Okay, so I'm gonna start with a little bit of tinted moisturizer. And I like to just pat that on my face, and then I rub it in with a big blending brush. Okay, and then just kind of blend that in all over. Break out our handy dandy Scotch tape. And just lay that right from the outside corner. Just pop our little stencil right there. Now, we're gonna first just put an all over kind of neutral color vanilla all over our lid. I'm gonna use that soft brown. I used it in the red eyeshadow video, but I'm going to use a big blending brush, and then I'm just going to get a little bit of that and bring it just on that outside of your crease, then about halfway in. Just giving us a little bit of natural looking definition. Once again, this is kind of our quick, everyday, but kind of retro, cool look. We don't want to go out looking too basic. And for just a tiny bit more definition, I'm going to take just this corduroy, kind of a warm brown, it's a matte color, just with a smaller brush, just really defining that crease. So now I'm going to do a really kind of dramatic winged liner. Now you could totally use a liquid liner. I am a lot more comfortable with like a gel pot liner, and then just an angled liner brush, which is what I normally use. So I'm just gonna get a little bit of that on my little small angled liner brush. We're gonna kind of let ourselves be a little bit more dramatic with our liner. So once again, we've kind of set that tape to be our stencil. This is kind of that retro, kind of Maryland vibe. So we're going to get a little bit heavier. So let's ditch that tape. And just take in those big dramatic wings. Ooh. Now, let's go ahead. I'm going to bring in a little color underneath, but I want to go ahead and do the rest of our face makeup before we get there. So, I'm going to just brighten everything up underneath. I'm only going to use that tinted moisturizer. This is my day-to-day makeup. I don't love doing a foundation if I can help it, just because I feel like it really lets my skin kind of breathe. So in my last Fave Friday post, I posted about this concealer, but I am obsessed. It's so light. It's just like, this is my favorite drugstore concealer. It is amazing. Trust me. So just really brightening up underneath those eyes. I'm going to bring just a little bit kind of as a highlight on my nose and just between my brows. Whoop, whoop. Put that war paint on. And then I am going to use a little bit heavier. I have just a teeny bit of breakout around my lips. So I'm going to use a little bit heavier concealer there just to kind of cover all that up. So for my little bit more professional concealer, I use MAC Pro Longwear. And it's killer. It just has a little bit more coverage, but it still doesn't feel too heavy, which is nice. Then just blend. So if you'll notice, so that just kind of completes that. Then this is the fun part. I am gonna bring a little bit of this copper MAC pigment underneath my eye. So this is just gonna be a really bright little pop of color. I got that line just a little bit too thick underneath, so I'm just gonna clean that up with that concealer brush. Just really keeping that fairly subtle underneath your eye. Now, the beauty is you could stop at the liner, and that's a really great, just classic wing. You don't have to do the color underneath, but I just feel like that's a little something extra. So now I'm just gonna finish out my face makeup and we'll be good to go. So I'm just gonna use a big powder brush and my favorite bronzer and just kind of lay that underneath your cheekbones and then kind of blending it up onto the tops, sort of along your hairline. Then on the tops of that forehead. So just getting that on a small little powder brush. Just bringing that on tops of those cheekbones, kind of setting right under those eyes. This is a Makeup Forever translucent powder. Big fan. Nothing too crazy. Then I'm going to use just a nice neutral blush. This is Warm Soul by MAC. And I'm going to just set that right on tops of my cheekbones. And then just a little bit of that Hourglass. I'm just going to use my finger. A little bit of this Hourglass Iridescent Strobe Light highlighter, and I'm going to just press that right into the top of my cheekbone. Ooh! Blending just a little right along the bridge of my nose. And then just in my Cupid's bow. Now, Let's do a little bit of brows, shall we? It's just kind of a natural arch. Short little strokes, kind of creating a really natural looking brow. Just kind of defining that brow. And then just to make those even more natural looking, I like to use a really small brow pencil and just kind of create short little strokes that really mimic what our natural hair would look like. Okay, so you have blush, we've done our highlighter. Now we're gonna do a little bit of mascara, and then I'm gonna do just an outer lash like I normally do when I do a wing. So just throw on a little mascara. Then I'm gonna throw on just a little outer lash. So I've cut them in half. I'm gonna do that wider side on the outside of my eye. Okay, so your eyes are done. Now, I'm gonna do a really rich lip. So, I'm gonna use a Plum liner by MAC. And now, super deep burgundy.